Good evening to you, dear viewers. Thanks for joining us in this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinoxe television, where we are broadcasting live from the nation's economic capital, Douala. I am Innocent Aze. In our major stories, the 6th Divisional delegates abducted by separatist fighters in the Jan Division of the southwest region of Cameroon are all dead, while their captor, General Ten Kobo, died later through an injury he sustained during confrontation with the military. Also in this edition of the newscast, the mortal remains of the young gendarme lady who was assassinated in the Koto Immeuble neighborhood in the Douala 5 subdivision has been transferred to Puma in the Senegal Maritime Division of the Littoral region, where the burial will take place. This was after military honors were granted her in the economic capital city, Douala, today. Meantime, the divisional officer of Douala 5 subdivision has vowed that apart from those apprehended as suspects, they will continue fighting against criminals who are hiding in the municipality. Those were headlines. Good evening once again. You welcome to the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinoxe television. We begin with news in the southwest region of Cameroon to talk about the 6th Divisional delegates who were abducted years ago by separatist fighters, notably in the Jan Division. It is now confirmed they are all dead, while their captor, General Ten Kobo, died later through an injury he sustained during fighting with the military. This was revealed by a fighter serving under him who surrendered today in Kumba and received by the senior divisional officer of Meme Division, Tundong Chamberlain. For me, Armstrong Sander has details.
24-year-old repentant separatist fighter says his group kidnapped and assassinated the 6th Divisional delegates of the Jan Division in the southwest region who have been missing since June 15, 2021.
The barrack that was building your hideout. Our hideout, that is where we take them go. Yes. So actually the people in diaspora actually say that Tenkobo should kill the 6th delegate so that they are going to crown him the free marshal of the Jan Division. So actually you have to do it and make it a video. There's only one can hold the video in his hand. Exactly. Yes. So you have to keep the phone. It's only Tenkobo that have the video from the 6th delegate. The guy who died the last time.
He says they were led in that operation by their leader, self-styled General Ten Kobo, who later died after a confrontation with the Defense and Security Forces of Cameroon.
The military came to attack us in that very area. So Ten Kobo have to take us to go and attack them. So one of the military have to shoot him. Yes, he have the injury on the stomach. Yes. The bullets have to go to his canals. Yes. So he cannot survive. During the process of taking to the barrack where we he cannot survive there. She have to down the road. So we have to carry him back to that place, the barrack was there. We have to dig a grave there to bury him there. And that was being a secret, nobody to say anything.
Repentant Tamaya Clinton was received by the Meme Senior Divisional Officer Tundong Chamberlain in his office in Kumba.
What we did today is not only for you to save your own life, but also to bring back peace within the entire Jam and Meme Division. Once more, be reassured, everything will be okay. I am your father. We tell you to do here for the normal procedure.
The Meme Divisional administrators used the opportunity to call on other separatist fighters to drop their weapons and join the DDR centers.
Now, the mortal remains of Valerie Njok, the young gendarme officer who was killed on the night of June 12 or 11 to 12 in the Koto Immeuble neighborhood in the Douala 5 subdivision have been transferred to Puma in the Senegal Maritime Division of the Littoral region, where she will be buried in the days ahead. Military honors were granted Valerie Jog in Douala today, and is coming at the time when 3 suspects have already been arrested. And we'll come back to the reconstitution of the crime that occurs at the Koto Immeuble neighborhood Douala 5 subdivision recently with Malak Glory.
3 suspects who have been on the run for weeks have finally been arrested by gendarmes and police officers. They presently in detention facing a murder charge for the killing of Jog Janina, a gendarme officer who was stabbed to death in the Koto neighborhood, Douala 5, on the 11th of June 2023. The incident occurred while she was returning home. We were chased by some bad men who seized my neighbor's handbag and pushed us to the ground. She immediately got up and struggled to hold one of the guys. She said she is a gendarme officer. That was when she was stabbed. And off they disappeared. Investigations stretched from Douala to Ibolova and Mayo Ulu North region. The 3 each between 20 and 23 were arrested and transported to Douala thanks to the joint efforts of the gendarme and the police officers under the supervision of the regional delegate for national security.
Nous avons réussi à interpeller les brigands. Le premier.
We succeeded in getting the 3 suspects. We caught the first suspect on the night of 23rd and 24th of June in Niala neighborhood. The second, we caught him on the 1st of July in the locality of Mayo Ulu. And the third suspect, we caught him in a Bolova. We then transported them to Douala.
Dans la ville de Douala. Il se trouve en ce moment dans nos géoles.
At the end of the reconstitution, the security officers sent a strong warning to men of the underworld that
en synergie, nous sommes déterminés.
We are determined to search and fight such hideous crime in the littoral region. We shall track and neutralize them.
Neutraliser. Nous allons les pourchasser jusqu'à leur dernier retranchement.
Nos condoléances les plus attristées à...
We send our sincere condolences to the family, and we must say it's a sight of relief for us to see those killers arrested.
Des assassins est un vrai soulagement.
The authorities, according to them, have met their objective, which was that of tracking down the killers before the victim is buried, after the corpse removal from the military hospital this Thursday, July 6th.
A strong message passed across to hoodlums. A similar message was passed across today by the divisional officer of Douala 5 subdivision, Dr. Asongwe Kletus. It should be noted the incident occurred in his municipality, his area of jurisdiction. He noted that no one can hide from the law after committing such a crime. Take a listen to him in this excerpt.
Generally speaking, it is just a clear indication that when committing a crime, you should not think you will go free. When you commit a heinous crime like that, it is very normal that one day you'll be caught. The forces of law and order under our coordination are actively in the field. Whether you commit a crime in the night or during the day, we have everything that will permit us to pick you one day. So why do it? I think the population deserves some peace. They deserve to go about their activities normally. They deserve some degree of security, and that is what we are doing. Those who have spent time to cause harm and to inflict pain on the population in one way or the other already know where they belong. And once we pick them up, they face justice, and the result is obviously known to everyone. While the security measures are on, you know that I cannot bring out all the strategies that we have to put to fight against criminality on TV. If not, I'll just be helping the bandits to disguise and escape.
The administrative officer noted that for all the hoodlums to be chased out or be captured, the population must collaborate with security forces and not to hide them or favor them. Take a listen to the administrative officer once again.
Motorcycle Riders Union in Douala 5 has been helping us a lot. Together with them, we have instituted an operation that takes place at night. Every night we come out with them, with the forces of law and order, and effectively do controls of bikes that are circulating. Because we have a good number of bikes who are novice citizens who are just there to look for their daily bread, and in that way helping Cameroonians to move from one place to the other. But we equally have thieves who profit from this activity to harass the population. So the bike themselves have said no. They are tired of seeing their image being presented as that of thieves. They want the world to know that not all bike people are thieves. And so they have been helping us. Just 2 days ago, we caught together with them. We caught a good number of people with knives. These knives are not normally knives to eat mangoes. They are knives that they use to attack the population. So you see that it is a synergy between the administration that I represent, the council represented by the mayor, and the forces of law and order, and the bike riders themselves, who are tired of seeing their image being soiled on a daily basis. So I think I want to use this opportunity to sensitize the population that these thieves do not come from other places. There are people who live with us and we all know them. We know our neighbors. They should be able to denounce so that we pick them up before they go and harm people. We call on the population to collaborate, to give us the necessary information, to collaborate with the forces of law and order, to facilitate our attacks when we come to the field, and to ensure that they sensitize their own children too, so that they should continue to be good citizens. Times are hard, but you must not make life by killing other people. I think it is time that Cameroonians enjoy some peace, and we can only enjoy peace if all of us are committed and everyone in their own way helping the administration to crack down on criminals.
Away from insecurity, the candidacy of the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon and the current Grand Chancellor of National Orders, Philemon Yang, for the President of the 79th United Nations General Assembly has been presented. This was during the 23rd conference, which took place in Libreville, Gabon. His candidacy was presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs or External Relations, Le Jeune Bela, on Tuesday, or rather Thursday, July 6, 2023, to the heads of diplomatic missions accredited. We have more with ACA Lucy Liango.
Cameroon's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Le Jeune Bela, on Thursday, July 6, 2023, has presented Philemon Yang as candidate for the position of 79th President of the United Nations General Assembly. This was during a meeting held in Libreville, Gabon, chaired by President of Gabon, Ali Bongo Ondimba. Philemon Yang was massively supported by members of the Economic Community of Central African States, ECOWAS, who assured him that they are strongly behind his candidacy. Le Jeune Bela convinced the African Corps of High Commissioners and Ambassadors that Philemon Yang is the best candidate for the position. Cameroon's former Prime Minister, Head of Government, and current Grand Chancellor of National Orders has been elected as sole candidate for Central Africa. The conference pledged to give him full support and equally called for the support of other African countries and African Union. Philemon Yang is a career diplomat who served as Prime Minister from June 30, 2009 to 2019, Assistant Secretary General at the Presidency from 2004 to 2009. He served in the government from 1975 to 1984 and was Cameroon's ambassador to Canada from 1984 to 2004. As history holds it, Philemon Yang is the longest-serving prime minister in Cameroon. Moreover, Yang has also served as the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in Canada for about 10 years. This, amongst other positions, Philemon Yang has played a key role in the domestic politics of Cameroon. Before the election slated for September 2024, Cameroon is already entering the campaign, and President Paul Biya is set with his counterparts.
I will now take you to news out of Cameroon to say during the night of July 3rd, Tunisians attacked the homes of sub-Saharan migrants. The country's the violence was sparked by the death of a Tunisian, and 3 Cameroonians were cited as suspects. We have more with Glory Mala.
Accused of having murdered a Tunisian, 3 young Cameroonians are currently in delicate situation in Tunisia. A tense atmosphere in the city of Sfax in the country since July 4, 2023, after the assassination of a Tunisian during a public manifestation involving Tunisians and several migrants residing in the country. I have been in Tunisia now for 4 years, and I must say the situation of Cameroonians here is very critical, in fact frustrating. It used to be a very peaceful country until now that the world conflict has affected the peace of the country. And recently migrants got into confrontation with police who chased them out of the country to the desert and other remote countries. Three Cameroonians have been suspected in connection with the homicide. In the meantime, a search has been launched since they were cited in this case. Many Tunisians are mobilizing to demand that sanction be given to these Cameroonians. The extremists demand in particular the immediate departure of these Cameroonians from the country Tunisia.
On est au désert comme ça. On est au désert. On est au désert, il n'y a pas l'eau, il n'y a pas courant, il n'y a pas l'eau, il n'y a pas de nourriture.
Including all nationals of Central and West Africa. Others refer to the fundamental law of the country, which provides that anyone who is guilty of murder is punished by life imprisonment. It is therefore in a delicate situation that these Cameroonians and Africans in transit in this Maghreb country find themselves. As the president of the Cameroonian diaspora in Tunisia, we have come to the embassy to call on the attention of the Cameroonian embassy to present the situation of Cameroonian youths. We also call on the Cameroonian community here to be calm. The Cameroonian government has not officially reacted to the plight of these Cameroonians, whose fate is now uncertain. A situation which brings to the memory the violence of March 2023, which broke out in Tunisia following the remarks of President Kais Saied, who said he was determined to re-sacralize the Arab-Muslim race in Tunisia.
That's the end of the first part of this newscast. Up next is Talking Points. Good evening once more to you, viewers. Thanks for joining us onto Talking Point. Today we'll be having as guest Mr. Siani Fidel. He is an educationist and elite of the Open Camp Division of the West Region of Cameroon. Good evening to you, Mr. Siani Fidel. Of course, today we'll be talking about youth, that's pupils and students, and their holiday activities this term. Let's talk people and students on holiday and their activities. First, let's understand the importance of this long holiday given to them.
We talk about the importance of the long holidays given to the children. We know that the children spend 9 months in school, and during the 9 months they have studied a lot and their brain is tired. So long period holidays is for them to rest, and also for their brain to rest. That's why they have given them the long-term holiday. So during the long-term holiday, there are many that use the opportunity to do one or two things. There are others that use the opportunity to learn, to play. So it depends on every individual.
But we find some students rather using the holiday to have fun to the brim. Does that tie with the saying that learning without playing makes Jack a dull boy?
I don't think so, because learning and fun work together. That's why in school they give them the break time. You see, in the break time there are some funs. They have to play so that they can, at that moment, they can just rest and start back the study after the break. So when the children are learning, they need some time, the time of fun. Because if there is no fun, the teaching will be boring. It will be tired. So fun and learning and teaching work together.
I have noticed something interesting. At least of some villages organize holiday classes to teach their children their mother tongue. What's your appraisal? You did same, right? Also tell us why bring up such an initiative.
So first of all, I want to thank Dr. Imapi and Dr. Nkele on behalf of the medical doctor of the Open Camp from Douala, because they were the one who took the initiative to organize the holidays lesson for mother tongues for the children. They were the one. So I was invited as a teacher. So it is a privilege for me to say thank you for those people that really took it upon themselves. So the initiative was first to give to the children the rudiment for a base of their mother tongues. Most of them are not speaking their dialect in the home. Most of them. Why? Because the family are bilingual. When I'm saying bilingual, I mean the father and the mother are not from the same tribe, you see. And from there, either the father or the mother are not ready to speak the language, her language, or the language of the husband. So that was the real challenge. And they organized these holiday classes just to give the opportunity to the children to learn their language, to learn their mother tongue, so that our language should not perish. Yeah, because some of the languages can perish or can lose. And the other side is to valorize our languages. You see, when the Japanese, the Chinese, the Russian are coming in this country, or the Arab, they will speak their language, but they need a translator to translate their language. So it is obvious for us also to learn how to speak our language, so that tomorrow, why is it that why they can also look for somebody to translate our mother tongues? It is possible. So that's one of the objectives of the initiative that the medical doctor took upon themselves to organize these holidays classes. One of the objectives I have said earlier was to gather the children. Secondly, it was to give the rudiment of the mother tongue to the children. Thirdly is to valorize our language. That was the initiative and that was the objectives.
That sounds interesting, but how are parents reacting to this? Most of them allowing their children learn the mother tongue.
You see, when they organized it, they were not sure that many parents would respond. But we were surprised that at least we have more than 100 children that came that day. More than 100 that registered. And most of them were so happy, even the parents. And among the parents that came, we had a Yabasi native woman who came with the children. She sat down, she learned, and today she is speaking the dialect of the husband as if it was her dialect. It was a joy for her. And so you see, just that family now can more communicate in the home, in their community, just because the mother took upon herself to learn the language of her husband. And I want to encourage by this opportunity all those that have their husband is maybe a Bafang man and they are not from the same tribe, learn the language or the mother tongues.
As among the children, are they happy and interested? Because some will say it is waste of time.
Beginning, it was not easy because some of them never knew what was the language. So during the exam, 68% of the students really master the language. 68% of the students really master the language, and 40 and maybe 32 of them really have the rudiment or the base of their language.
What help will learning the dialect be to these children when they resume school?
It will be a great help for the children. Why? Because pedagogy has instituted the mother tongues in the program, and most of those children do not even know some items with their mother tongues or with their dialect. So as they have learned, when they will go back to school, they will be able to say or maybe to give the name of some items in their mother tongues. And secondly, it will be a pride to them when they will know how to sing the national anthem in their mother tongues. I think it will be a
Once I
great
can
help for
imagine the challenges both parties face. I'm talking about the teachers and also the learners. Tell us about them.
Lindy was for the children, for the kids. Yes, why? Because, as I said earlier, some never knew anything, any words from their mother tongues, because either the father or the mother have never spoke to them. So, for them at the beginning, it was boring. Why? Because it was like they are forcing them to learn something that they don't even know. Now, the second group was those that had some words. You see, maybe the father have tried once, or maybe the grandmother have tried to speak some words to them, and those children wanted to know more, and for them it was funny, you see. So the difficulty was to bring them and to give them those rudiments. That was the difficulty. The difficulty was in the pronunciation, to pronounce. Most of them was trying to pronounce in French. Yes. So we were using the French and the dialect to let them understand, because if we were just focusing on the dialect, they would have not. So we were using French to let them to understand. So from there, we took time to really let them know and understand. And for our side, it was also a challenge. Why? Because you are speaking to somebody that are looking at you, not even hear anything, not even know what you are saying, and then you have to bring some item, maybe some images, and see and present to the person so that the child should know that this is what you are talking about. And those are the strategies you use to let the children really understand what we were teaching them. And at the end,
now, why do
really
some parents
incredible.
prefer their children attend holiday classes? What is the advantage?
Parents that send their children to holiday classes has a lot of advantages. First, concerning the academic year, maybe some students did not perform well. They did not perform well. So the holiday classes will help them to boost their performance for the next. And those who even perform well and go into the next classes, the holiday classes will prepare them to know about the lesson they will learn for the next classes. Okay. On the other hand, there are some parents who have a general view of what their children should become. Some will send their children to do carpentry so that the child will learn something from the carpentry. Some will send the child to the mechanic. Some will send the child to a hairdresser or to a beauty salon. You see, some will send the children to learn something, and at the end, every holiday you send a child to learn something. At the end, the child will be able to do something. Why? Because through the different learning or the different teaching the child has received, the child will be able to say, this is what I can do better. And the child will start doing something based on the teaching she has acquired while passing her or his holiday.
What of children going to the farm and those hawking in the streets, academic-wise?
There are some children that will go to farm. If the parents are farmers, if they are farmers, and the children has to go and help, because it is also a period that the children has to rest, yes, and also a period that the children has to give a helping hand to the parent. So when the parents are farmers, it is for the duty of the children to accompany the parent to the farm, to bring back or to harvest some crops for food or maybe for the market. On the other hand, if the parents are trader, it is also the moment for the children to help their parent in the shop or in the market. Now, for those who are selling on the street, I'm not okay for the parent that send the children on the street. Why? Because it's so dangerous. Yes, on the street it's so dangerous. They are exposed to raping, they are exposed to kidnapping for those children. So for me, for children to go on the street, they might be children above 18 years. Because at that age, they can defend themselves. At that age, they know what they are doing. So during the holidays, I prefer that those who are under 10 years, 15 years, they should be in the house, or they should be in the holiday classes or some training center to learn something for their
Before
life.
you go, as a parent, what choice do you make for your children and recommend to others, especially the idle ones?
Parent, what I did for my own kids is that my kid is not a teenager, so most of them are in the holiday classes, training. One of my daughter is doing her hairdressing, I can say like that. Another one is doing tailoring because she wants to know how to sew dresses. So I send them there so that they should know how to do it. So, and my recommendation or my advice to other parents is not to keep the children in the house just watching television. No, try to occupy the child. Try to occupy the child. It is a time for them to rest, yes, but they cannot rest for 3 months. They will be dull. Let them do something. Occupy the children to do something. Send them somewhere to learn something. It might be in the mechanic, it might be the carpentry, it might be the glasses, it might be, there are a lot of things that the parent can send the children to learn from that. And maybe what they will learn today might help them tomorrow in their life.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Siani Fidel. Thanks for your time. Thanks for accepting our invitation. Of course, we're dwelling there on youth and their holiday activities, as well as the necessity to promote our mother tongues. We're so glad, and we also thank you, the viewers, for joining us in the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinoxe television, as well as Talking Points. We are wishing you a splendid weekend and hoping to meet you next week, God willing. Bye-bye.